Hey, what's up everybody? It's Lids, and we're back for some more Gwent, and today we're playing the new Poor Man's Gwent event, which is an alternate game mode in which all of our gold cards get transformed into random bronzes, turning this into a bronze-only battle. So what types of bronze decks work well? Let's go take a look. So today we'll be playing a Northern Realms inspired Zeal Mages deck that gives us a ton of value from our bronze mages with both powerful engines and also some high tempo finishers. Early on in the match, we're going to want to try to get down the Ard Student as well as the Aretuza Student as quickly as possible, because those cards will increase the power of their order abilities, and then that not only means that they're engines for that round, but it gives us some carryover value by setting up some big Alumni plays in round 2 or round 3. We'd love to get those Ard Student and Aretuza Student order abilities up to at least 4 power apiece, that way we get Zeal on the Alumni, but we do of course have Zeal from our leader ability, so worst comes to worst, if you only get one of those types of students, or if only one of them gets at that 4 power threshold, then you can still use Inspired Zeal to use those Alumni abilities at the end of a round. Then we also have stuff like Cintrian Spellweaver, which is another good early round engine. Meditating Mage, a little bit of an engine, but more so a resilience threat if we have 2 of those. And so you might be asking yourself, well, it seems like that's a lot of engines for all the mages, but the thing that allows us to also do really well in short rounds is that Alumni, especially if we have Zeal on it, which again, with our leader ability, we have a way to make that happen. But casting contests, giving us Zeal on our order abilities is really meaningful, because ideally it's on the Alumni after they've gotten a huge melee or ranged order ability. If you have one of those Aretuza or Ard students on the board, then use the ability there and use casting contest to reactivate it. So that also gives you a lot of tempo as well. Similarly, Teleportation, particularly on Alumni, is a way to get even more of those order abilities going. And because we're going to play a lot of Patience mages, Practice Makes Perfect is a way to use the order abilities from the mages we have on the board, put them back into our deck, and then either get that same mage out and give it a boost, or get a different mage out that also gets a boost. Then we have a couple of Redanian Secret Service in case our opponent tries to lock some of our mages, and Alzur's Thunder to give us a little bit more control. So there's a look at the deck, giving us a combination of powerful engines and high-tempo finishers, so that we can succeed in either long or short rounds. So let's go see it in action. Alright, so gonna begin Skellige here, and we'll go first. Alright, and oddly enough, we have basically all of our finishers in our hand and almost no engines, which is kind of crazy in a deck like this. But, okay, in that case, let's get rid of maybe, I mean, Practice Makes Perfect could be really good, but not really in round 1. So let's dump you. Meditating Mage, sure, that does give us an engine. We'd like to see another one of those, though. That would be much better. Maybe we dump you as well. Spellweaver. Okay, we've some patience, maybe not quite enough for the Adept to be all that meaningful, though that was going to be one of the engines that we had. Yeah, wow, okay. More finishers than I would have thought. Why don't we start with the Spellweaver, since we got rid of our Aretuza Adept, so maybe it makes more sense to build around the Spellweaver. Knife Juggler. Solid, for sure. I mean, we could immediately destroy it here with Alzur's Thunder if we wanted to, but I think let's not rush that just yet, because this could be a good opportunity for us to build up on the Ard Student. I mean, I imagine they're going to try to get the bonded ability there, but we do want to build this up, because that, of course, will set up our Alumni in a later round, and we do get some additional charges as well. So I think yeah, sure, we'll use these charges here, I guess. Okay, it's a Troubadour. That'll, I assume, be to give them more. Okay, yeah, they're going all out bronzes here. This will be interesting. So, I mean, we certainly have damage to get rid of some of these guys. What is the most efficient way to do that is the question. Rather not. I mean, we could use Ard Student, destroy you, use Casting Contest to reactivate that ability, and that way we're still building up the patience. That's an option, because Alzur's Thunder now seems like overkill. Otherwise, we could go Meditating Mage, but I don't love this when we don't have our other one in hand. So, I think maybe we do go this route. And we have so many finishers that maybe we don't need to be too picky when it comes to how we're using the casting contest. Okay, it's a Savage Bear. That's some bleed. Bring out Redanian Secret Service, so we can purify that off, which I don't really see any reason not to do that. So I guess we will. And then we could Thunder, I guess, a spare. Technically, if they have another one in hand, we are setting that up a little bit. But, I mean, unless we're going to ban Ard Student on you, I don't know. We might keep this round kind of short here. Just because, well, we can finish with a ban Ard Tutor as well, I suppose. Yeah. I was concerned about getting more jugglers out, but they haven't done that yet. So I feel like they would have done that earlier if they had that option, and they have not gone that route. So maybe we take it easy for the time being, and we continue to whittle away a little bit there. So at least, yeah, having this round go longer means we can get Ard Student a little bit bigger, and now, by the end of this turn, it will at least get up to 4, which is the important threshold we're looking for Alumni. So that is nice. Okay, so what we'd love to see here would be another Meditating Mage, and then we'd probably need to use the Leader Ability Charge here, because we only have 2 throwaway cards, 2 turns we're looking to play in round 2. But with that, we can get Resilience on both of them. We might get one from Runeword, but that's obviously not guaranteed. So, and this looks a little more engine-oriented now. Why don't we... guess we'll dump a Teleportation. Guess there's always a chance that Practice Makes Perfect gives us one of those mages, but let's go Runeword, and we'll see what this gives us. We'd like for it to be a Meditating Mage, but we don't know if that's going to happen. It is. Okay, perfect. So this one will have its... Okay, you're going to deal... The shield is important here. Wow. Okay, so it will have time to use this ability. And then we play this one here, and we're going to have to use the Leader Ability Charge on that if we want this to be our last turn. And I think we probably will go that route. So, honestly, this surviving on 1 power is fine. Also get at the Redanian Secret Service. That is our last Redanian Secret Service, which is a little bit unfortunate. Now we do this. And do this. So now, I mean, they might be able to remove one of these. This one in particular, but just by having this on the board, it made it so we got resilience on this one, which is nice. So yeah, that'll get destroyed, sure. But we're probably looking to pass here, and I mean, they do have 1 more throwaway card, so they might mess with this Meditating Mage. But if not, then we're getting a few points of carryover, so that's not bad. Alright, they will damage it ever so slightly. That doesn't really matter, because it's going to lose the boost in the next round anyway. And, oh man. Okay, I would argue that's overkill. They're going a card down just to remove that carryover that we were going to have. So we lose a 3-point body, but now we have card advantage and double last say in round 3, which is pretty sweet. We do draw into an Aretuza Student. That's definitely a card we wanted to see, because we have set up at least the melee row for Alumni, so we could go the damage route with that. But if we get you down early, we can potentially get the Zeal on Alumni, turning this into a finisher. We could still use the Leader Ability Charge and use it as a finisher in that way, but this gives us a little more flexibility if we reach that threshold. Another Ard Student, that's good early. Meditating Mage, don't love that in this case, because that was mostly for the carryover. Teleportation could be for a finisher, but we've now played enough Patience cards that Practice Makes Perfect is pretty solid and should get stronger still. So we do have several engines here we want to play early, those being Spellweaver, Aretuza Student, Ard Student. What is the prioritization of those cards? I'd say probably not Ard Student, because again, we are already at that 4-power melee threshold for the Alumni, so that's not as big of an issue. Not a huge fan of the damage in the short term, because that Drakkar obviously absorbs that damage very well, so maybe we go Aretuza Student for that reason. We do want this to survive. It'd be a little unfortunate if it went down, because we want that to get up to at least 4 power on the order. Okay, and it's a Knife Juggler. We know they've already played their first one. So unless they have other things like Troubadour, I mean, it's going to be pretty hard for them to get another one on the board, I would think. But yes, they have damaged this now. So I think it's probably going to be Spellweaver on this turn. Although more Patience... Yeah, we'll go Ard Student, I guess. No, we'll go Spellweaver. Pretty similar. Each going to be about 1 point of damage per turn, potentially slightly more than that in the case of the Spellweaver. But this sets up some other stuff, potentially. They are trying to get rid of this Aretuza Student, and what we could do is we could use the Order ability and then use Practice Makes Perfect on it to get it back into our deck, potentially replay it immediately. If not, then I guess we probably prefer an Aretuza Adept. We don't have any other Patience Mages on the board just yet, but probably will with Ard Student. So you're going to have 1 damage on this turn. Do we expect them to have additional damage from another source, or do we take the risk and leave you on the board here? Let's go Ard Student. Maybe we can distract them a little bit. Mostly just doing that because you don't have armor. There's a strong case to be made for using this Order ability. I think this Aretuza Student is likely going to get destroyed here. Ooh, or not. Okay. Wonderful. Okay, so now we have lots of Patience stuff down here, or at least 2 Patience engines that are still going. We could use this and then go Casting Contest to reset it. We'd probably prefer for Casting Contest to be on an Alumni. So I think maybe what we do here is we use Aretuza Student. Wait, 1 more turn on Aretuza Student, ideally. Yeah, let's just shut off their damage now, I think, with the Alzur's Thunder. They might have more, but it'd be a little bit tough for them to get 2 damage on a single target in 1 turn. So we'll just get rid of you. So now at least this gets up to 4, which is the key threshold, because now we have Zeal on the Alumni. Okay, and they're not going to deal damage anyway. They're going for this self-damage combo. So, okay, now things are suddenly looking much, much better for Alumni. We can play these whenever we want, and we're now looking at a whole bunch of finishers, so that's nice. Could remove this Hermit, and that shuts down the self-damaging setup on the Drakkar, which is not a bad direction to go in here, so I think we might go that. Then we have a little more damage here. So we could use the Ard Student pretty much whenever we want. We're not as concerned about that, because it's probably not going to overtake the 4 power we have on the Alumni melee row. But this, if we can save it a little bit longer, be fantastic. And now that we've gotten rid of all the damage that they currently have on the board, they might be able to get 2 damage 1 turn. Certainly possible, I suppose. Not like that they won't, though. If you give us... Oh, they gave us Doomed. That actually could have been pretty nasty, because we were planning on putting some stuff back into our deck. So what would we like to get rid of here? 3 damage. It's not great in terms of removal, but I'm kind of eyeing Practice Makes Perfect at this point, so that when we get a Mage out from our deck, we can still benefit from that, especially if it's Aretuza Adept. We want to make sure we still have some stuff there for it to build up the power from. So why don't we... I think we'll go... I guess we'll take our chances on Ard Student. Use this here, and we'll get it back out, which is fine, because now it is still up to 3 power on the Order ability, up to 4 now, when it has a boost. Okay, so now we're probably going to go Aretuza Student, use this Order ability, I guess boost up the Spellweaver. Okay, so let's boost. That means we're going to be on 6 power for the boost on Alumni. I think that's fine. We might even get you back out. We don't. Yeah, this is probably the worst card we could have gotten out from our deck, so that's not going to do too much for us this late on in the round, but looking at a pretty strong advantage here still, so I think we should be okay. Okay, Veteran, they don't really have the self-damage anymore to set that up. They do still have Leader ability, so that is really their biggest threat. So now I'm thinking, let's see, it's 6-point Order abilities on the Alumni. If we wait 1 turn, it's going to be slightly more than that on the or tied, potentially slightly more than that on the Ard Students, but they don't really have anything big enough for this to be all that useful. So I think we might go Alumni, Ranged Row, Casting Contest on Alumni to reuse that, and we'll just remove you probably, since this is really the only thing they have that's an engine. So we do this, we should have Zeal. Some really a great target to boost, because all of our stuff is already pretty high up there. Guess we'll wait 1 turn on Meditating Mage, doesn't matter too much. If they're going to Purify, that shouldn't matter. Here comes the Leader ability, though. And clogging our range row does prevent us from, or make it harder for us to fit in a Ranger Alumni, which is where we'd like to use it, but we're still going to have plenty of room. We're still in the lead here by 11 points. We still have this order ability, casting contest, another Alumni, so we will win by a lot. And they'll forfeit. Alright, so going up against monsters here. And they'll go first. Okay, so we don't want Redanian Secret Service in hand. Let's get rid of that. I'm actually pretty scared of White Frost because we have a bunch of cards that are row-locked with Aretuza Student and Ard Student, and even Alumni could get its order ability changed if they were to move it. So that's concerning. I think Runeword turn 1, see what this is. If it's another Meditating Mage, then suddenly we threaten Resilience. Otherwise, we'd probably like for it to be a Ard Student because we don't have one of those at the moment. I think we probably get rid of one of you. Okay, Spellweaver can be another card we build around in round 1. Thrive. Certainly has long-term point potential. Could remove one. I mean, we don't technically have to remove you on this turn. Maybe we go Spellweaver at the very beginning. That way we get 2 charges when we play Runeword. So I would like to get Aretuza Student as quickly as possible as well. Okay, Fuka, more Thrive. I'm surprised it's White Frost, then, if this is a dedicated Thrive deck. Now we go Runeword. Okay, yeah, and I would like to go Ard Student, I think just for the Alumni setup, because otherwise we wouldn't have access to Ard Student in round 1. Again, they can move it with their leader ability, but I don't know what to make of their leader ability right now, because it doesn't seem to line up with what the other stuff they're doing is. Otherwise, Spellweaver, yeah, that obviously gives us more damage. Don't love damaging Thrive unless we can outright remove it, though. And we can't do that right now. Drowner, oh, that's another way to move. Oh! The card that isn't row-locked. That's a little bit strange. Okay, so I think now in this case, I'd like to get Aretuza Student out here, but if we wait one more turn, suddenly it becomes more difficult to answer things, because we could Alzur's Thunder on the Fuko right now, which would be really nice to get rid of that. Then we can Spellweaver, get rid of you, or even one of the larvae if we really wanted to. But I'm going to get a little greedy here. Yeah, we can still... Maybe we even get rid of you. I know it has the armor, but you're just a little bit tougher to get rid of for that reason. And we can either Alzur's Thunder you, or if all the Thrive cards get boosted, then you. You do have Dominance, unfortunately. There's the first Wild Hunt card that we've seen. And, well, I mean, you do survive, for now. But, I mean, yeah, we can still have Alzur's Thunder you. You're up to 2 power, and we really want to leave these unused for the time being. Unless we were to casting contest reset one, we'd really rather not go that route. You're the one that's most at risk of getting destroyed. But I guess we'll do this. Okay. They're going to use leader ability charge to go along with that. No, somewhat surprisingly. Okay, so this will be at 4 by the end of this turn, which is the Alumni threshold for Zeal. This needs a couple more turns. But now things are getting a little bit trickier when it comes to the cards that we have remaining. So we don't have another Meditating Mage to threaten the Resilience, so this Meditating Mage isn't really doing much. It's a tiny little engine, and it does power up Practice Makes Perfect a little bit. We could even use it as a target for Practice Makes Perfect. Otherwise, it's probably use order ability and casting contest to reset, although this is a lot more valuable on Alumni in a later round. So maybe we take it a little bit easy here. Just go with you. I'm going to put you here. That way, if they do put Frost in this row, Meditating Mage is the one that gets hit. So you're more expendable. Okay, and there is Frost. Which row are they going for? It is that one. Okay, so that was the right place to put you. Okay, now, can we threaten to catch them? Is a question we're going to need to be asking ourselves soon. I mean, this is 7 points we have just hanging out on the board right now. And if we were to Practice Makes Perfect on you, that is starting to look pretty decent. So I think we probably do choose to do that now. And we'll probably want to play whatever it is in this row to protect this Aretuza Student for one more turn. Well, it's the same Meditating Mage, in fact, because it already has that Power 1 Vitality. But, alright, sure. If nothing else, we are setting up the Alumni. Okay, Nalgafair's crew. Which row you're going this time? Melee row? Obviously, we have the shield there, so at least for this turn, we're tanking the hit. So they have established a pretty large lead here. These will continue to get boosted. Now we have 9 points, make it a few more points on the board with that Meditating Mage. And we could casting contest here. Otherwise, we could practice makes perfect again. And we're expecting for us to use a melee row Alumni, then we could use Aretuza Student's order here, so we don't need this to go any higher now that it's reached 4, and we get you out. You are the lowest card right now. Otherwise, it's Meditating Mage again, which is maybe still not a terrible thing. Alright, tell you what, we'll do that. Okay, that's not terrible. So we do have 2 Patience cards that we're going to continue to keep going for at least a little while longer now. Okay, now they're going to finally mess with the Aretuza Students. So if we had survived with that card for one more turn, we might have even looked to play on this turn. But I think this is probably where we'll pass. We'll have a 7 points damage ability on the Alumni, which is pretty solid. And we'll still have 2 casting contests and Teleportation we can use on Alumni as well, because they'll have Zeal. We have reached that threshold. So I think this is fine. We're on red coin anyway, so not a huge deal that they're winning here after going a card down. Okay, so they might dry pass here. They did play one more card than us. They might try to push. They might assume that since we're Northern Realms, we're an Engines deck, and therefore they could 2-0 us, but we draw into an Alumni. That's obviously pretty huge. Want to make sure that we have some throwaway cards, because I don't want to see these Redanian Secret Services, but I also don't want to use Alumni in this round if we don't absolutely have to. Okay, so Meditating Mage can be our throwaway. This is the one that we kept on putting back into our deck, but that's fine. Okay, so many ways to replay Alumni. Okay, but that's fine. This is our throwaway. That's okay. We have maintained Alumni and a lot of ways to replay it. We do draw into the other Alumni, so that's big. I mean, we could go range row if we really wanted to, I suppose. Draw into another Redanian Secret Service, don't like that, and the Meditating Mage don't like that either. We need to make sure we have targets if we are going to go the boosting route with these Alumni. So, part of me is a little hesitant to mulligan this Meditating Mage in case we do draw into... I guess Redanian Secret Service would be the one brick. Anything else could work. Take our chances. Okay, that's fine. In fact, that's probably our turn 1 play. Okay, so I think we use this, and since we don't need the Zeal on the Alumni, we already have that built in. I think we use this and use a leader ability to help get you out of removal range. There's always a chance that they do something like Predatory Dive turn 1, but I'm playing you first because I don't want to lose an Alumni. I'd much rather lose you if we have to. So, I think this is still a sacrifice we're willing to make. Middle ground approach. If you're trying to go the damage route, it's more likely that you will live. Obviously, they still have both leader ability charges, in fact. But we have dominance, so you can't really use this right now. And this is where we probably do break out the Alumni, immediately remove, and we're just going to basically do that every single turn. Non-stop damage from Alumni. Yeah. Okay. Now, if this gets destroyed, then we're in a little bit of trouble. Obviously, we have the other one as well, but we could just Alzur's Thunder you, I suppose. Yeah. Maybe we do that for now. Maybe that's all we need for the time being. And the fact that they didn't Predatory Dive on turn 1 suggests they probably don't have it. But yeah, this is not surprising. They'll use the leader ability to get you out of melee row, which means you can't use that order ability. But it does make it a little bit harder for them to change up what's happening with the Alumni. Because if we want to play it melee row for damage for 7 points, they could use leader ability to bump it back into the range row, and that way we're kind of forced into using the ranged ability, but we already have Zeal. So we can just drop this right now and remove you right now. So what I'm wondering is, do we go leader ability charge here just to keep you alive? I think we can get away with it. you're gonna move this. Don't know which one's gonna get damaged. Honestly, we want it to be you, because we're probably gonna replay you right now. Yeah, I think this is probably Teleportation, Melee Alumni, remove Foglet, because this is a powerful engine. We want to get rid of it immediately. And then we want to finish with the casting contest, because we don't want to replay you once you've already been boosted. You will get destroyed by the frost, of course, but it's a sacrifice we're going to have to make. Okay, well, no, you're going to get damaged. Don't get destroyed. Okay. Well, that's why we have the other one. That's why we have the other one. So this one needs to live. So for that reason, we might... We're going to play it. We might use a lead ability charge. It does mean when we replay with Alumni, or rather Teleportation on our next turn, in all likelihood, we will, of course, lose that boost. But this is just so that they don't repeat what they just did. Bump you into the other row, drop you down to a 2, and then they have a 50-50 chance of the frost completely removing you. So it's just a way to play a little bit safer, because that might be what they're looking for right now. They're going to do that. Ooh. Okay. That does make it a little bit tough, because that means Teleportation doesn't really achieve... We get the order ability back, but there's nothing for us to target immediately. So I think we have to casting contest. It boosts us. We're, again, probably going to have to just lose that boost when we replay with Teleportation. And we really want to use Teleportation on our next turn, so that way we have more than just a 4-point body on the board, because they have last say. So we can destroy all but their last card. Their last card is probably going to stick. So we do this to keep you alive. Guess we could have... Tell you what, it might have been best to Teleportation and then use our last lead ability charge instead. Ooh. Oh, that's interesting. That is very interesting. That might win them the match, to tell you the truth. Because we no longer have any other units for Alumni to boost. So we really get no value at all from range row. And that means we kind of need to use melee row ability on this Entrega eggs. And as I was just saying, they're going to have at least one unit remain on the board at the very end, assuming their last play is a unit. So not only are they going to have that, they're now also going to have some drones. Which means it's not that hard for them. Not that hard for them. To get at least 4 points, but apparently, whatever these last cards were, they weren't going to be able to stop the Alumni. So there you have it. That is just how powerful Alumni can be. So there's a look at a Northern Realms Mage deck for the new Poor Man's Gwent seasonal event. If you liked the video, then make sure to hit the like and subscribe button, and leave a comment down below to let me know which other cards, archetypes, and factions you'd like us to experiment with next. Thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you next time.